Good evening to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to our 813th meet of Chennai Toastmasters Club. The mission of every Toastmaster Club is to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in such a way the members are empowered to improve their communication skills and leadership qualities, hence resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Members of the Toastmasters are guided by a set of essential core values like integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before moving on to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which is to be followed. Kindly keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Do not talk about taboo topics such as politics, religion, and sex. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear the speakers clearly. Kindly be on mute until it's your turn to speak. If you have any message to be shared or conveyed during the meeting, kindly use the chat box below. We strongly advise to have your videos turned on for a convivial meeting experience. Also, please rename yourself with a prefix saying guest or Toastmaster and the role played in the meeting if applicable. I have shared the renaming template in the chat box. I hope everyone is all set and ready to get into the meeting. Now it's time to introduce our presiding officer. Our presiding officer for the day is a CA by profession and a diligent Toastmaster. As a Toastmaster, she had been an ex-com member as SAA, VP membership, and VP education at CTM. So let's welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Abirami. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Vishnu, for that very warm introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Do what you love, and you will never work another day in your life. How many of you here would like to agree with that statement? Any of you? So I see some hands. So I was one among you some time ago where I always felt that we should do things that we love. But when I thought about things that I love, one of them was like deep cleaning my home. I realized sometimes you cannot do or start a profession out of what all you love because it may not be feasible or it may not, bring you some finance home. And the other thing about doing things that you love is one thing, when you do the thing that you love for your profession, there is always a pressure involved. And second, there is also an expectation of reward, which makes it slightly difficult to make it into a profession. So the best way is to learn to love what you do. So on this note, let me open meeting number 813 today. Moving on for today, we will be having the minutes of the meeting read by our secretary, Toastmaster Vignesh. Over to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Abirami. Last week we had 812th Toastmasters meeting with the CPM. It has a joint meeting with Tamilutru Chennai Toastmasters. They had a 249th meeting. And last week we had a Toastmaster of the day was Toastmaster Abhilash. He engaged in the meeting with full of fun with his childhood Tamil language learning memories. And distinguished Toastmaster Sambat Saurirajan was general evaluator. Last week we had a word of the day was eclectic, which means deriving ideas from various sources. Example, he reads eclectic mix of books. Then we had an educational session by Toastmaster Dylan Joseph. The title was How to Crack the International Speech Contest. He shared interesting facts about Toastmaster International Speech Contest and how to inspire audience. And he gave all the facts and tips for cracking the speech. Then DTM Venkata Krishnan from other club shared the speech with about titled Enadu Madhiyurangal. So he shared about his learnings from his mentors. Then the speaker two was Toastmaster Velu Nilagandhan. He shared about the emotions, how to spread positive emotions. The negative emotions he compared with the garbage. So that was the speech. And the Toastmaster Sugandhi Periasamy was the TT master. She connected the TT topics with the educational session. Then general evaluator gave commands or recommendations are as below. Grammarian should not share, should share the not so good usages as well. When tag team sharing the report, something need to highlight it. Then don't repeat the speaker's content during the evaluation. The evaluator has to talk about how they said instead what they said. These are all the recommendations by general evaluator. Yeah, back to you, Toastmaster Abirami.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. I'm sure we will all keep in mind these recommendations today when we carry forward on this meeting. Now, moving on to the starting the meeting today. So we have a very beautiful Toastmaster of the day. She's doing the role for the first time. It's Toastmaster Karthika. Now, Toastmaster Karthika is a chartered accountant and she's working with Apollo Hospital. When we asked her what are her favorite hobbies, so she said that she likes stock trading and also watching Mallu movies. So if anyone is planning to go, trading and all, go to her for some stock advice. I'm sure she will help you. And one good thing that I observed about Karthika, Toastmaster Karthika, is that earlier when we organized an icebreaker session and we're pushing all the new joiners to deliver their icebreaker speech for a scheduled date, she went ahead of the date and delivered her icebreaker. So I think that's a very beautiful trait where you are able to deliver even before the deadline set. So keep it up, Karthika. Over to you. The stage is yours.
Thank you for such a warm introduction, Madam President Abirami. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to meeting number 813 of Chennai Toastmasters Club. Let me start the meeting with a quote. Life too short, eat the dessert first. I'd like to take a moment to digest metaphorically this saying and to fully understand what it could mean. I say eat the dessert first because life never goes as per plans. We might have a plan, but life might lead us in a different direction. As they say, change is the only constant in our life. Even the cells in our body have a finite lifespan. We should, with this in mind, rest assured that transformation is part of the human condition. Rather than oppose it, we should embrace it. I'm sure that easier said than done. We have undergone multiple changes during the COVID-19 pandemic, right from shifting our whole workspace home to dealing with health complications induced by COVID. Acknowledging the change and being kind to ourselves is part of the journey. Before we delve into this topic, let me introduce you to the Toastmasters session. First, we have a prepared speech session where the prepared speaker will deliver a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. The second session is a table topic session where all of us can attempt on the spot topics. The third and the most important session is the evaluation session where the speakers can expect to take away meaningful suggestions and improve their speech. Before we move on to the prepared speeches, let me introduce you to the general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Sharad. Toastmaster Sharad dons multiple hats. He's a research scholar at IIT Madras in Structural Engineering Division. He is a member of Toastmasters since 2018. He's also passionate about exercising, reading books, and teaching. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharad.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Karthika. So, as a general evaluator of today's meeting, I'll be noting down each and every point which we can improve so that we will all improve in our communication and leadership journey. So, in order to do this, I have two sets of team. One is my tag team, another is my individual speech evaluation team. Now I will introduce my tag team so that they will explain their roles. So today's timer is our Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan. He is a EEE graduate, electronics and engineering graduate, and in his education, and currently he is a software engineer. And he has a lot of leadership journey in Toastmasters. He was a VP PR and then a ladder of VP membership last term, and currently he is the VP education of our club. And he has a passion of long driving and trekking. So please join me in welcoming the timer of today, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan, to explain his roles and.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sir. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and my friends. I'll be the timer for today's meeting, and as a timer, I will note down the time taken by each speakers, including prepared speakers, table topic speaker, and evaluators. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific timings. For example, if for today's prepared speech, the allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. When they reach 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll show the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll show the red card. And the speakers will be given a grace time of 30 seconds to wind up the speech so that we complete any speech with proper begin, body, and end. I'll make note of the time taken by each speaker and submit my report by the end of the meeting when called upon by the General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan. Next, it's time for me to call the R counter of today. Today's R counter is Toastmaster Shruti. She is a final year computer science student and she loves Bharatanatyam and Kathak dance, and she performs it currently. And she also has a passion in linguistic and literature. And she told she is curious to learn anything new. There is nothing specific bounded for her. Anything she can learn. So with this, please join me in welcoming our counter of today, Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharad, for the introduction, and good evening, everyone. Greetings to all Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a filler by anyone who speaks. During this meeting, I will be listening each and every one for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler words and sounds, including oh, and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, this means at the and so on. And at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of the times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you. Over to you, General Level.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shruti. Next, it's time for me to call our grammarian of the day. Today's grammarian is Toastmaster Deepak Thompson. Toastmaster Deepak is a project manager at L&T Services, and he loves wildlife photography, cooking, and shuttle badminton. It's totally a different combination. And he was our past VP Public Relations and current VP membership of our Chennai Toastmasters Club. Please join me in welcoming our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Deepak. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sharath. As a grammarian today, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers. Listening carefully to their language usage, I'll make a note of misusage of the English language, as well as the outstanding usage. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce you the word of the day. And today's word of the day is exquisite. EXQUISITE, meaning it's extremely beautiful and pleasing. I will give a small example. Her wedding dress was absolutely exquisite. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sarath.
Thank you so much, grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Deepak. So this is my tag team, and I will introduce the speech evaluators at the end of the meeting, at the third part of the session. So we will do our best in making this meeting much improvement, so that we all will be improved in our evaluation. Thank you so much. With this, I hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika.
Thank you so much for taking us through your objectives, Toastmaster Sharad. Now it's time for us to move on to our prepared speech session. Our first speaker for today is Toastmaster Vignesh. He'll be delivering his speech from Presentation Mastery, Project 1, Level 2. Toastmaster Vignesh is an electronic hardware engineer working in Qualcomm. His hobbies include exploring new places, reading books, and of course, Toastmastering. Before I call upon our speaker on the stage, may I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Gita, to read out the project objectives.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kartika. Good evening, everybody. Toastmaster Vignesh is giving his speech under the project, Understanding Your Communication Style. So the purpose of his speech is for the member to learn about different communication styles and to identify what his communication style is. The second purpose is to tell the members the impact of his style on others. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika.
Toastmaster Vignesh, my communication style. My communication style, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear friends and guests. We are all here to improve our communication skills. But what is the biggest communication problem? Is it language, vocal variety, body language, or lack of confidence? Anything?
Listening.
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan. Yeah, I will answer this question at the end of my speech. For a successful communication, let me first explain different styles of communication. As per Toastmasters, we have 4 styles of communication: direct, initiative, supportive, and analytical. Direct communication style involves focused and motivated by challenges. Initiative communication involves enthusiastically speaking. Almost all entertainers will use initiative communication style. Supportive communication style involves supportive and dislike changes. Most of the relatives use supportive communication skills. And the fourth one is analytical communication skills. So analytical involves precise and task-oriented person. So most of our senior members or college or professors, teachers uses analytical communication skills. The communication style changes based on the situation. In my professional side, I'm an application engineer. So my work involves dealing with customer queries. I need to answer and understand customers and answer the customer queries. Let me explain one small example. One of my neighbors asked me to get a second-hand laptop for his kid's schooling. So I bought a laptop from my friend circle and gave laptop to him. He has a very little knowledge about hardware and software stuff, but he able to manage it. The second day, he called me and they told, Vignesh, the laptop is not turning on. I said, it was working good yesterday. What happened now? He said, I don't know. I installed a few applications and it was not working. Then I said, did you press the power button fully? What happened? What shown in the screen? He said, yeah, I pressed it. It is not showing anything. Then I said, is it completely pressed or it is stuck somewhere? Did you try with connecting charger? Is it charging? Did you check that? He said, I tried everything. It was not turning on. Then I was thinking, then I asked him, could you elaborate what are the stuff you did with the laptop? He said, yeah, after I bought the laptop, I installed a few applications and I thought few unnecessary files present in the laptop. So I deleted C:drive and D drive. I asked him, did you deleted C drive? He said, yes, I formatted the C drive. I thought it was not required for me. Then I said, oh man, C drive is essential for the system operation. C is used for operating system. So it is called OS. The things you are using all the steps are called operating system that is present in the C drive. So if you deleted the C drive, you cannot it cannot boot. So you need to go to the nearest service center and install the new operating system. So in this conversation, I need to listen to speaker. Malcolm Forbes said the art of conversation lies in the listening. So once I listen properly, I could understand the problem. Then I need to use the simplest words in the communication so that it will engage and go to the next level and both will understand. Third, I need to, the communication goes towards the solution of the problem. So this style motivated by the problem. In my professional side, I will take action items and maybe note the conversations as a minutes of meeting, and it will connect the bridge gap between two speakers. So this communication style is called direct communication style. So this is my primary communication style. I may use different communication style based on different situation, but this is my primary style. So this one I used, it makes me feel responsible, authentic and transparent. So irrespective of the communication style, if you use the, if you understand the listener properly, and if you listen properly, the communication will succeed. I will end up the speech with the quote by Stephen Covey. The biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand. We listen to replay. The biggest communication problem is we do not understand. We do not listen to understand. We listen to replay. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
That was a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Vignesh. I loved how you infused humor in your speech, and it was quite an educational speech as well. So thank you for that. Moving on, our second speaker for today is Toastmaster Abhilash. Toastmaster Abhilash is delivering his speech from Presentation Mastery Project 2, Level 2. Toastmaster Abhilash is a chartered accountant by profession. He's been a part of the Toastmasters for 2 years now, serving as VP Membership, VP Education, and most importantly, the past president. His hobbies include playing badminton and chess. Before I call upon our speaker onto the stage today, may I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Rekha, to read out the project objectives.
There's a small change. I think my evaluator is Toastmaster Nanda.
Yes, that's right. So let me share the objectives of the project.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Abhilash will be doing a level 2 project 2 from Presentation Mastery Path, which is about effective body language. The purpose of this project is for the member to deliver speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he or she uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. Timer, please note that the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Looking forward to exquisite speech from Toastmaster Abhilash. Over to you.
Toastmaster Abhilash, control your anger. Control your anger, Toastmaster Abhilash. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and a very warm good evening to all my fellow members and guests. I have a very strong feeling about all of you. All of you can be easily provoked into anger. Sorry, I don't want to hurt you, but truth be told, I can provoke a dog sitting there into barking whenever I want. Shh, shh, I will say, and it will start barking. It is an animal. It does not have the intelligence to understand that I am provoking it. 100 times I can provoke that dog. Shh, shh. It'll start barking. If anybody in this world can provoke us into barking whenever they want, what are we? Take a moment and go back. In the past week, all of us would have gone out somewhere, either by walk or on a cycle or scooter or car. And there would have been one incident where a car or someone would have come crossed over like that, and we would have got angry on him. Are. Till today, whenever that had happened, you would have been angry very peacefully. But from today, remember, whenever this incident happens, whoa, that is it. To tell you a little more about how to control anger, let me take you all through a short story. A master once had a pupil who had a good brain and a very kind heart, but he was given to great fits of anger. If he wished to do a thing, he would do it with 100% desire. But if anyone tried to come in and hinder it, he would show terrible rage at them. One day, after one such fit of temper, blood started coming out of his mouth. The pupil ran to the master and said, "Oh master, what shall I do with my body? I fear I am not going to live much longer. Perhaps I should reduce my workload or studies." The master answered, "Wait. You have a wrong idea about your body. It is not the study or the workload that is doing this to you. Rather, it is the anger which is getting you into trouble. There are 1,000 students here in the school, and you get angry at each and every one of them. Imagine if each of them angered you just once in a year, you would get angered 1,000 times, and you will not live long if you are like that. I can help you see this. Let me ask you a very simple question." The student said, "Yes, master." The master asked him, "How many teeth do you have?" The student replied, "I have 32 teeth." And the master again asked him, "All right, how many of these teeth have you lost so far?" The student replied, "Well, I cannot count, but I think I lost around 5 or 6 in my childhood. And a day before, probably, I think I broke one of my teeth lightly." The master said, "Very well. And what happened to your tongue? How is your tongue?" he asked. The student replied, "My tongue is fine. My tongue is all right." Now, the master again asked the student, "Have you seen my father here back at school?" The student replied, "Yes, I have. I know him well." The master asked him, "Do you know how many teeth he had when he was your age?" The student replied, "I don't know, probably around 32. The master asked him, "Do you know how much teeth he has now? Go count and come back." The student went, he counted and he came back, and he told the master, "Master, your dad has just 2 teeth. And the master asked the student, "Well, what about his tongue? Is it fine?" Student replied, "Yes, the tongue is fine." To which the master said, "You see, the teeth, they are lost because they are strong and determined to have everything that they desire. They are hard and they hurt the tongue whenever possible. But the tongue, it never hurts the teeth. Yet it is the tongue that endures until the end, while the teeth are the first organs of man to decay, even when he is living. The tongue is perfect and gentle with the teeth. It never grows angry, even if the teeth hurt the tongue." And that is perhaps same true with man. How do you overcome anger? You overcome anger by understanding that anger causes more destruction to you than anybody else around. See, if I'm going to give you a regular dose of poison, will you consume it? No, right? Similarly, anger is an emotional poison. It will slowly destroy you in small doses. Anger is something like an acid. An acid destroys the vessel in which it is stored. Similarly, when you let anger inside your body, you are slowly self-destroying yourself. Second, whenever you communicate with anger, just sit and pause. No one will take the essence of what you're saying very seriously. Your message might be even be right and the other person might be wrong. But when you say something in a fit of anger, whatever is the essence of the message gets dissolved. Let me tell you this way. If I'm going to fire an arrow at you, are you going to think whether the arrow is made of steel or the arrow is made of iron? See, even if, let me say, if the arrow is made of gold, will you say, okay, it hurts, but since the arrow is made of gold, I got gold, I am happy. No one will say that. If it hurts, it hurts. Remember that. That makes a difference. Whether it's made out of steel, iron, or gold, it's not going to be the difference there. Nobody will analyze what you're trying to say if you're communicating with anger. The more and more you become aware of this particular futility of anger, that it serves no purpose, automatically your anger will drop. When you realize that what I am giving you is poison, will any of you accept it? No, right? Similarly is the case with anger. When you realize anger is nothing more than emotional poison, you will realize that anger will begin to drop off on its own accord, like this.
Thank you. That was an amazing speech, Toastmaster Abhilash. Controlling our anger is, of course, no small task, and your metaphorical comparisons were quite creative. Okay, with that, we've come to an end of the prepared speech session. Before we move on to the TT session, let me remind you that perfection is overrated. The earlier we realize this, the better. I was a perfectionist once, but slightly took a toll on me. In fact, perfection lends itself to us believing that we can control things around us all the time. But more often than not, life doesn't work that way. Holding ourselves to high standards is great, but the ability to give ourselves a break when something does not work out as planned is fundamental to maintaining a healthy life. The goal is progress, not perfection. There is tremendous beauty in taking small steps to reach your goals. I have learned that it is better to make mistakes and learn than to be too timid to start. With this, we move on to our next session, the table topic session. This session is being handled by Toastmaster Pooja. It's her first time as a table topic master. She is a practicing advocate in the Madras High Court. She began her practice in 2016 when she enrolled with the Bar Council. She has also delivered a number of lectures at various prestigious institutions. Her hobbies include traveling, gardening, listening to old songs. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Pooja.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kartika, for the warm words of introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. One of the most exciting portion of the Toastmaster meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge the members to develop their impromptu communications, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. We also want to give every member the opportunity to speak at each meeting. We do this with the table topic session. Table topic is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. Today, as your table topic masters, I'll be giving you a product which you have to sell in the market. You can brand your products with your imagination. The product may be either a goods or a services. Your response must be at least 1 minute and not more than 2 minutes. You will see a green signal after 1 minute, and a yellow signal at 1 minute 30 seconds, and a red signal at 2 minutes. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, excuse it. So let's get started with the table topic session. First, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes. So the product that I'm giving you for selling in the market is COVID test kit. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. Well, we are aware that the gold standard for COVID testing is the Rpcr test. Now that there is a big surge of Omicron virus across the country, each and every person who has a cold or a fever tend to go to the nearest testing center to do an RT-PCR, where it literally happens that the entire system is being overwhelmed by each and everyone going for an RT-PCR. And what really happens is the person who really needs it with severe symptoms have to wait for about 1 or 2 days to get his results. So to get rid of this problem of each and everyone wanting to test, and I'm sure that all of us are anxious that we don't want to catch that virus. So here it is, a beautiful multinational company, leaders in the pharmaceutical industry called as AYZ Pharmaceuticals International, is now introducing this Covishield test, which is a home kit, where at the comfort of your home, you can do a swab, nasal as well as a throat swab test, and go through the process which is clearly explained in the user manual, and you can get your test results within 15 minutes. It's literally an antigen test. It is not an RT-PCR test. It is an antigen test. And our accuracy of the product of detecting the COVID virus is 99.9%, and the WHO has accredited and also sanctioned the use of this home kit. And to make our commitment to the society and humankind, we are pricing it at a very less discounted price of 150 rupees per test kit. So I really encourage all of you, which is also available across the e-commerce platform, to have a few test kits at your home. And if you doubt you have caught the virus, you can do the test and upload the result.
I think we lost you, Shrikant.
Yes. You can go to the next table topic speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next table topic speaker. I would call Toastmaster Harshita, and I think Mr. Shrikant is back. Okay, I'll move on to the next speaker, Toastmaster Harshita. And the product that I'm giving to you is, you are a software developer and you have developed a video conferencing app, which we are using during the COVID time. So you have to sell this in the market.
Can I take 30 seconds of time?
Yes.
Thank you. As we all know, COVID pandemic struck us very hard. So our company has a solution to make it easy for you all. We, as a team of dedicated members, have come up with an executive idea that will ease your presence during COVID-19, that will make you feel like you are near to each other and there won't be any communication problem. We have introduced a product that is web communicating product that will make your lives easy by communicating with each other. You might have a doubt as a customer. What new compared to other products? We have a competitive advantage on that. Our product provides you some amount of free MB that can be used, and even you can transfer that as a money aspect, so everyone will agree to it. Even our product has some part of gaming that can increase your leadership aspects, and our main target audience are the Toastmasters. Toastmasters, as a Toastmaster, I know what are the core values of a Toastmaster. So introducing this product, I have prepared a clinical trial in Toastmasters so that the product has had a lot of advantages that can be implied on the whole world. So the product's name is Happy Camphor. Happy Camphor at your homes. Please be the part of Happy Camphor and spread happiness all through the world and be the part to scale our company. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. Next speaker will be Toastmaster Monica. And the product that you're going to sell is work from home dresses.
Good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters. I'm Toastmaster Monica. I'm here
Your
to
audio is not very clear, Monica.
I'm an auditor now.
Can you talk a little louder, maybe?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Very good afternoon to everyone present here. So I am here to present the work from home attire. As we all know, the one important effect of this COVID-19 pandemic is everyone forced to work from home to reduce the effects of the pandemic. To reduce the side of the pandemic, we all forced to work from home. So in this situation, we might not be able to dress up formally at all the time. So here we introduce the work from home attire, where you can comfortably get the feeling of being in home. At the same time, you can feel professional in all the video conferences. It is cost effective and easy to wear. We sell the dress at a special discount in all e-commerce platforms, and it can be purchased with UPI and all the digital payment platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Next, I would like to call upon guest Karthik. Are you there? Okay. And move on to the next guest. Guest Kirti.
Maybe you can ask for volunteers from guest.
Okay. Any volunteers from guest?
Yeah, I would like to go ahead. This is Dagaji.
Okay. So the product that you're going to sell is Kabasur Kudinir.
Okay. So good afternoon, Toastmasters. This is a very interesting topic. Now I'm going to sell Kabasura Kudinir. So all these days you were thinking Kabasura Kudinir is just a herbal which is lying on the shelf. My dear ladies and gentlemen, this is one of a boon which you have got from the Tamil medicine, which is going to cure your entire COVID just like a magical within a 3 days time. It's just a drink or just like a decoction which you have to take only for 3 days and which you can totally wipe away your total sickness of body pain, fever, and whatever it is. So it is a magical drink. So please try. Stop with all your medicines and all those physicians who have given you a lot of medicines which gives you nausea and headache and all those things. My dear friends, just try drinking this Kabasura Kudinir, which will totally remove all your body pain and it is going to give you the total freshness. It is a magical medicine and please, please, please try it. Just costing you 30 rupees, just 30 rupees. So don't give a second thought. Please do buy, my dear friends, for you and for all your lovely ones who are around you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Do I have time for one more speaker?
Maybe you can have the one last one.
Yes. So one last, can I have Toastmaster Tarun? Okay. Toastmaster Anirudh?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. So
Am I
the
audible?
product that, yes. The product that you wish to sell is Dolo 650.
So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The product that I'm going to advertise is the well-known tablet Dolo 650. All of us know some due to the COVID pandemic, just the feeling that we have a cold or fever brings us fear, whether it's actually COVID or anything else. We are scared to go out even out of our rooms, fearing that we might possibly possibly have COVID. We possibly might infect our loved ones, and therefore we are even scared to go. Sometimes just because of symptoms, even if it's not actually COVID, we are not allowed to go out to some public places in case of emergency. Therefore, this Dolo 650 can be used for very slight fevers, which immediately reduces it immediately. This is a very strong medicine and really helps us in removing the symptom. Therefore, I just ask all of you to use this, try this medicine. This is a very much cheap medicine. Just some 20 tablets, we can buy it for around 30 to 40 rupees. Therefore, I recommend all of you to use Dolo 650 after getting prescription from doctors. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirudh. With this, I end up the table topic session. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika.
Thank you for the wonderful session, Toastmaster Pooja. With this, we move on to the evaluation session. So the evaluation session is the bread and butter of Toastmasters. This is where the prepared speakers and the table topic speakers will get instant feedback as to how they have performed, what exactly has gone right with them, and where they can improve. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharad.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kartika. So now it's time for us to witness the speech evaluation. Let me call our evaluators for today. Our first evaluator is going to be Toastmaster Gita, who is going to evaluate Toastmaster Vignesh's speech. Toastmaster Gita is doing the world's toughest job of being a homemaker, and she is a passionate reader, and she has also completed levels in Toastmasters like CC level and CL level. And she is one of the very few enthusiastic Toastmasters that you can see the Toastmasters fraternity. So please join me in welcoming our first evaluator, Toastmaster Gita. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharad. Good evening all once again. And special good evening to Toastmaster Vignesh. So Toastmaster Vignesh, it was a wonderful start, an energetic start rather, I should say. And you had a question to start with. So that was a wonderful way of pulling the audience into your speech. That was really well done. Congratulations on that part. And you also had it was a good effort on your side to align with the objectives of the speech. This leads to one important question. Did you actually give us a complete thought? Somewhere around the line, I feel Toastmaster Vignesh, we did not get a complete thought about what exactly you were trying to convey. So probably you were talking about the 4 styles of communication, which is initiative style, supportive style, analytical style, and maybe, yes, you also talked about direct communication. In the process, we did enjoy the interaction, the customer interaction which you had, which you told us it was really good. But exactly what the audience wants is to understand well and identify even their style of communication. At the same time, we also wanted to know why is it important for us to adapt to another style of communication. So I think it was a little lacking on that part. Maybe you could have given us a complete thought. Because I realized that the moment you saw the green color, you tried to wind up your speech. You had still ample time to give a complete thought to the audience. Probably you could have come up with more examples so that we have a better understanding. Yes. Coming to my second recommendation, we also realized that you were not really very confident. Probably you were a little low on your practice part. So had you practiced better, you would have been able to deliver the speech better. So this is my suggestion, that while you had enough abilities to engage the audience into your speech by sharing a beautiful question, yes, you still did not deliver a complete thought to us. We would love to listen more from you about what about the other two styles of communication. And we would also like to know that why it is important for all of us to adapt our style of communication for better impact and better influence. We'd have also loved to listen how this adapting a different style of communication exactly influenced in your professional life or even in the personal level. So if you can work on these recommendations that I'm giving to you to take your speech to a greater level. With these few words, I hand over the control to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Sharath.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gita, for that caring evaluation. Thank you so much. Next, let's move to our evaluator number 2. To evaluate our Toastmaster Abhilash speech, we have our evaluator, Toastmaster Nanda. To tell about Toastmaster Nanda, he is a technical leader at Cisco Systems, and he loves reading a lot of Tamil books as well as English books. And to tell about his few achievements, he was a past secretary of our Chennai Toastmasters Club, and he was a division level humorous speech contestant in the division of our Toastmaster International. So please join me in welcoming our second evaluator, Toastmaster Nanda, on stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Anger is an emotional poison. Even if the intention is right, the message is always wrong. This is the central message of Toastmasters Abhilash explicit speech on anger. The purpose of this evaluation is to focus on different aspects of body language, like voice modulation, eye contact, gestures, movements, etc. So I'll be focusing more on those aspects. The first important aspect we covered is voice modulation. Initial part, when the interaction with the dog and the Abhilash, I think the voice modulation was used a little bit much. But on the later part, where the interaction was between the master and the student, I thought voice modulation could be used better to differentiate different characters. Like a different modulation could be tried for the master and a different modulation could be tried for the student. In that way, we could avoid saying phrases like the master said, the student said, like that. So voice modulation will automatically take care of that. So you don't have to like say that the master said this and the student said this. So that could be something could be like considered in the future speeches. So coming to the gestures part, so nice open gestures was very effectively used. So you was always having open gestures like opening your arms, rolling your arms, and moving left to right. So those body movements and gestures are very much in line with the speech objective. But one thing you could try out is probably you can use some pointing gestures. Like you can ask the audience like, what do you think about anger management, and how do you know anger management impacts you, or something like that. So pointed gestures actually gets the audience awareness or audience reception immediately. So if you want to grab the audience attention and make them glued to your speech, you can probably try out pointer gestures and also sweeping gestures like moving left to right with your hands like that. So coming to movements, I thought the movements was very minimal. We like constantly like you're shifting from left to right. So I think this is like very much the times we live right on an online meeting. This is how you can probably employ. But other than that, I think you could have probably tried a little bit coming back and forth. This way, since the camera is pointed on you, moving back and forth could have been a little bit more like receptive to the audience. So that is something you can try in your future speeches. So overall, I would say that it was a very explicit speech on the impact of anger management on individuals. So all the best, Abhilash, for your future speeches. Over to you, General.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nanda, for the detailed and useful evaluation. Next, before moving on to the next timer detailed report, let me call our timer to read out the names of qualified prepared speakers and qualified TT speakers, and finally qualified evaluators for the purpose of OT.
General Evaluator Toastmaster Sarath, and all the prepared speakers, all the table topic speakers, and the evaluators are qualified for voting.
Thank you. Thank you. So you can now read out the detailed report, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. Here's the timer report. I'm very glad that everyone has sticked on to the timing, and there is no disqualification in this meeting. Kudos to everyone, both the prepared speakers, table topic speakers, and even evaluators. So here's a quick summary about the timings. So for the prepared speaker session, both the speakers has to speak for 5 to 7 minutes, for which Toastmaster Vignesh took 5 minutes 31 seconds and Toastmaster Abhilash 7 minutes 15 seconds. For table topic session, which is a 1 to 2 minute session, Toastmaster Srikanth took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Harshita took 1 minute 44 seconds. Toastmaster Monica took 1 minute 22 seconds. Guest Sudha took 1 minute 28 seconds, and Toastmaster Anirudh took 1 minute 9 seconds. For evaluation, which is a 2 to 3 minutes evaluation session, Toastmaster Gita took 2 minutes 47 seconds, and Toastmaster Nanda took 2 minutes 38 seconds. With that, I am ending up my timer report, and over to you to General Evaluator Toastmaster Sarath.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan. I hope everyone noted down our time taken. And next, let's move on to the R counters report. Let me call Toastmaster Shruti for reading out the R counter report.
Yes, Toastmaster Sharad. I'll be sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
So Toastmaster, the meeting started with Toastmaster Kartika, and she has used 1 hour, and there was 1 pause. And Toastmaster Sarath, as General Evaluator, you have used 3 hours, and Toastmaster Pooja used 2 hours and once, and Toastmaster Vignesh as speaker 1, he has used 3+ hours, and Abhilash sir, Toastmaster Abhilash sir has used 1 hour and 1 pause, and Toastmaster Srikanth sir has used 2 hours and there were no pauses, and Toastmaster Harshita used 2 hours, and Toastmaster Monica used 2 hours. Guest Sudha ma'am has used 3 hours, once and so once, and also and all are repetitive words. And Toastmaster Anirudh has used 2 hours and twice. And coming to the evaluation, Toastmaster Gita ma'am has used which twice, and Toastmaster Nanda sir has used that twice and like twice. This is today's report, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shruti. For we are very sure that you have listened to each and every word that the speaker today spoke. Thank you so much. Next, let me call I think you can stop sharing the screen so that the next person can share. Next, let me call our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Deepak Thomas, to describe about our exquisite meeting we had so far. Toastmaster Deepak, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sarath. Yes, I would like to appreciate Dr. Harshita, Toastmaster Nanda, and Toastmaster Sarath. Just before minutes, he has used the word of the day. And I could note a few good usages of the or idioms that I could come across in this meeting. One is such, we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. Good phrase. And I do like anger is an emotional poison. Anger is like an acid. It will destroy from within. It's all good usages of codes, and it's really appreciated. And there are few words and the sentences which needs to be improvised. Like there is a product has had advantage. Instead of using that, it would be better to use product has the advantage, or product had the advantage. And one more point is that everyone forced to, it will be should be like everyone is forced to. And then the third one was a little bit much. Instead we could use a bit too much. So and it was an exquisite meeting. Thanks, and over to you, Toastmaster Sarath.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak, for that noting down the beautiful usages that we had in the meeting. Thank you so much. Now it's time for me to give my detailed report. So let me start with the sadhana terms. The meeting started exactly at 4 o'clock 0000. So kudos to the sadhana terms for opening the meeting on time, and that is the quality of CTM meeting. And he opened the meeting with very calm, and he was very clear in explaining the values and all the points that we should follow. Just a small point I can just suggest is maybe I have observed previous few years back, we used to open like, welcome to CTM meeting number 813, like that. There will be some applause for 1 minute like that. So at least for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, there will be applause like that. So that will spread some energy throughout the meeting who are here. It is more comfortable if you are using offline, but still maybe if we can give a try in online also. Apart from that, it was very perfect role played by our sergeant arms, Toastmaster Vishnu. Next, presiding officer, our Toastmaster Abirami, opened the meeting with a beautiful message of love what you do, and she had the interaction with us. Just a small suggestion is maybe we can have that guest introduction, just the name of the guest in the initial part itself, so that they can feel comfortable. Apart from that, it was very beautifully done. And next, MOM read by our secretary, Toastmaster Vignesh. It was as if like going through the previous week meeting, each important points, everything right from the what speaker's message, word of the day with meaning, and what G told, everything was clearly done, beautifully told by our secretary, Toastmaster Vignesh. And next, moving on to the Toastmaster of the day. And one word I should describe this person's role: sincerity. Thursday afternoon, I got a message from Toastmaster Karthika asking for my introduction, and I can observe the sincerity she put to prepare for that role, and that's what everyone needs. So let's give a big round of applause for that. And she done a role perfectly smooth and very clear. It's not like as if she's doing for the first time. Just to challenge yourself, Toastmaster Kritika, what we can incorporate is maybe we can keep some team for the meeting so that it is much more organized, just to challenge yourself. And next, Toastmaster, TT Master, Toastmaster Pooja, again, being the first time role player, it is like hitting a 6 in the first ball, because usually we used to give some normal topics, but today what we witnessed is totally different, giving a product and selling. And the very unique thing was all the products are currently relatable, and it actually, as an audience, I feel really good to listen to the speaker, and I hope all the speakers who spoke today also might have felt very much comfortable. And just to one point I noted is, usually we don't call guests by name in TT topics because they might feel uncomfortable. Usually we call in general as a volunteer. And apart from that, it was beautifully done. It's not like a first time role player. And evaluation, all the evaluators were very caring. Usually people, the one who care, our Toastmaster will be giving a lot of recommendation than the commendation. I think today's speaker should be very grateful for being a speaker today because of our evaluators for getting a lot of recommendations to work on. And also we had a beautiful detailed tag report from our timer, our counter, and grammarian. And general points I observed was, number one is regarding a first time role player. So it's time for me to applaud the first time role player. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika, TT Master, Toastmaster Pooja, and our counter, Toastmaster Shruti. So these Toastmasters were the first time role player who have done excellent job today. Shall we give a big round of applause to all of these three Toastmasters? And next, we had a backout in the evaluator at the last minute, and we had a Toastmaster who pitched in saying that I will take that role, and this is what the commitment is. So taking some role at the last minute for helping the club is really appreciable. So I would like to appreciate Toastmaster Nanda for taking that role, evaluator role, at the last minute. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nanda. And next, some general points I observed is regarding practice. This online meeting, it's also including me. This online meeting is giving us some favor that we are reading our script using the screen somehow. So maybe we can try to adapt that, get to know what we are going to talk about, and if we are talking instead of reading, that could have been much more effective. And one more point is, while calling the Toastmaster, we don't say Toastmaster X sir, Toastmaster X ma'am. We just say Toastmaster X or Toastmaster Y, like that. So that sir or ma'am could have been avoided. So these are the points which I have noted. And for GE, still one more point to me, I should have prepared the introduction more, and I should be more confident in the stage. I will incorporate it next time. So apart from that, we had a beautiful meeting today. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to see a meeting like this in the upcoming weeks or so. With this, I hand over my evaluation session to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika. Over to you.
Thank you for that wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Sharad. May I request a Zoom master to initiate the poll today? Okay. While that is being done, in conclusion, I really hope that all of you get to eat the dessert first, because this life is quite unpredictable and imperfect. It is ultimately your journey to live out. And I hope with that, it's now time for me to give control over to the presiding officer.
Thank you. Thank you for a very great meet, starting from the TMOD to TMOD Toastmaster of the Day, Kartika, to the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sharath. Each of you had taken your roles very seriously and had done a very beautiful job. And yes, already we have congratulated the first-time role players. Thank you, General Evaluator. I think each of you did a job which made it feel like it was not a first time. And that's something amazing. Kudos to that. Now, let me just call upon a few guests. We will anyways have the Moments of Truth session once the poll is done. So in the meanwhile, let us just get some guest feedback. Could I... Sorry, did someone say something? Okay, can I request Toastmaster Harshita to say a few words?
Thank you, Toastmaster Abirami. It was indeed an exquisite Sunday that it is such a tongue twister word that you have given, Grammarian. I really enjoyed. I like to spend evenings like this, and I am a nascent person in Toastmaster. Just 3 weeks ago, I have joined Toastmaster, and my native is Tamil Nadu. So I was really interested in participating one of the meeting of Tamil Nadu, searched on Instagram and got to know that you are a community club. So I pinged you on Instagram and got to connect with Toastmaster Deepak. He guided me all through here. And yeah, one important thing I noticed in here was the transition from the prepared speeches to table topics to evaluation was so smooth that I have got to learn and implement and give feedbacks to my club as well. So indeed, it was a pleasant Sunday, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. That didn't look like you are a very new to Toastmasters. You look like a seasoned Toastmaster. Glad that you enjoyed meet.
Just one point I want to add. I was not like this before 3 weeks. Toastmaster has given me tremendous experience in 3 weeks that I don't want to wait more to learn more. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. Great. So next, can we hear it from guest Anand? Anand, would you like to say a few words about what you felt about today's meeting? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, this was my first Toastmaster meeting. So actually, everyone in the meeting, especially the today's speaker Abhilash and one more person, I forget the name. So both of them has delivered the speech very well, and I enjoyed this really in this Toastmaster meeting so far.
Good to hear. Yeah. So guest Anand is now remembering our speakers named Toastmaster Abhilash and Toastmaster Vignesh. So that's the impact that we have created for the day. Great job, speakers. So can we hear it from guest Shashtika Manoharan? I hope I got your name correct, Shashtika.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for calling my name. Actually, I'm waiting to share my experience. It's an amazing experience. I don't think it's the first time I'm attending Toastmasters. So it's an amazing experience. Every speaker, starting from Vignesh, his role play, and everybody selling that product, everything is so nice. And I'm looking forward for more amazing experience like this. Thank you. Kudos
Thank you.
for your practice and it's literally very amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashtika. All the guests can get in touch with our VP membership, Deepak Thompson, if you require more details. I think we still have one more guest Mahajiban. Am I getting the names right? Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, that is Mahajiban Manan. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I need some more time to observe. Next time, I'll talk and give a comment.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, guest Sudha, would you like to say a few words?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure being with you all today. I really enjoyed the meeting. It was awesome seeing all the role takers doing their roles so beautifully from the GMOD, and all the role takers did their roles very beautifully. I really appreciate the role of the table topic master who did it very creatively, and it was a very interesting session as well. So kudos for that. So I'm very surprised to see that this Toastmasters is doing its 800 plus meeting. So kudos for that. It's such an old club. I have one suggestion from my side is like being such an old club with a lot of you're doing this for more number of years. I would suggest you can have some activity like something like a movie review or book review or some games activity or something of that sort to make it more interesting. So that's one suggestion from my side. Otherwise, it was a very wonderful meeting. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, guest Sudha. We'll definitely see how we can use that recommendation. So now I think it's time to announce the results. So the best prepared speaker for today is Toastmaster Abhilash. Congratulations. The best tag role player for today is Toastmaster Deepak. The best role player for today's meeting is our first time Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kartika. And last, the best evaluator for today is Toastmaster Gita. Congratulations, Toastmaster Gita. So with this, we will be winding up the regular meeting.